Here's some questions that the jurors wanted to ask Jodi Arias and others were not allowed to. Let's get through some of them. And we have Janet Johnson with us as well, great defense attorney, so she can help us as we walk through some of these. And there it is. I mean, I'm looking at some of this handwriting as well as we think back to the drama that unfolded and jurors being allowed to ask questions. Heck, they asked Jodi Arias over 200. Well, here's some of them, and here's one. Did you testify that Travis gave you the Book of Mormon at Starbucks? Did you read it thoroughly? If so, when? Does the Book of Mormon go into details regarding the vow of chastity? Janet, there was a lot during the trial. That was one of the, the themes, religion, and whether or not she had a sincere conversion to Mormonism or if it was just a move to get Travis Alexander. Do you think it was a deciding factor for this jury or just one of those smaller themes throughout?
Well, if I had had that question asked as a defense attorney, I would have thought, that's kind of good for the defense because they're asking about the vow of chastity, basically saying maybe Travis wasn't the innocent victim here. I'm assuming the judge did not allow that to be answered because it's basically sort of character, inadmissible. You can't ask a witness, well, what's your religion? Did you convert? Do you practice? It has nothing to do with the actual trial. But I think it's an interesting question that I would have thought would have been good for the defense. Maybe, that was one person who probably didn't want to give the death penalty. I would say that in the penalty phase. Potentially.
Or it could go to that stalking theme that she would do anything to get Travis, even convert to Mormonism. Right? I mean, that could have been the heart of that, as well.
Right. Did you read it? Yeah.
Yeah. Let's hit through a couple of other ones here. Here's one. Were you paid for the interviews with 48 Hours and Inside Edition? We remember the quote, no jury will convict me. You can mark my words, or something to that effect. Yeah. And Janet laughs on cue. Here's another one. And this is interesting. Who was involved in all the tire slashings, i.e. Travis, you, Mimi, Lisa? Whose vehicles were damaged? Boy, you talk about stalker theme. That was damaging, literally, Janet, when you talk about Jodi Arias, if the jury has in their mind that she's running around slashing tires because she's so upset.
Well, yeah, and if they're asking who was involved, they're basically saying, Jodi, we know you know because you were there. Who else did it? That definitely went to, we think you were a stalker, we think you were violent. I mean, I thought the slashing the tire was really inflammatory, and I kind of was surprised it came in at all because unless there was proof that she actually did it, it really is. That's a violent act, and that's sort of a precursor to an escalation of violence, which ultimately they found her guilty of, the murder.
Here's a couple more. Do you feel you should be punished for what transpired on June 4th of 2008? There's a blunt question there. And how about this one? And this concerns pets. What pets did you have as a child, and did you ever intentionally hurt a pet or animal? Interesting stuff there.